All right, Tom, there you go.
I'd like to open the Peabody Planning Board meeting scheduled for August 20th, 2020, held at 7:21 p.m. pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. This meeting is being held on a virtual platform of Zoom. It can be reached by the numbers of the agenda and also the broadcast live on Channel 9, as well as streaming on PBD Access TV. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting of August 6th.
Mr. Chairman, move approval of the minutes of August 6th, 2020.
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand.
For the record, everybody raise their hand.
A&R Land Court, 128 Newbury Street, map 57, lot 74 and 74U.
Just allowing Attorney Kelty now to come on there.
So, can I be heard?
You're heard.
Yep, there you are.
My name is John Kelty. I'm an attorney and I practice law at 40 Lowell Street in Peabody, Massachusetts. And I'm appearing on behalf of the owners of certain portions of land located at 128 and 128 rear Newbury Street here in Peabody, Mass. I did try to provide Andrew with a color version of this plan, in as much as it is fairly confusing. Is that color version, has that been provided, Andrew?
It has, and I can share my screen if you would like. Would that help with your presentation?
Yeah, I mean, I have it in front of me, so I can describe.
Yes. I'd like
It should be coming up on everybody's screens now.
So at the end of the day, if this plan gets signed by the chair, we are attempting to prepare this tract of land for future development and future sale. There are currently three different owners of the land, and the color version of this will show you, as do the notes, what's trying to be accomplished. So beginning at the top, lot 1, which is located on Race Drive, is to be combined with parcel C, D, 3-2 and 4A 2 to create one lot. The reason that the Race Drive parcel of land is being included, and also those two small C and D, the reason that they're being included with the larger lot 3.2 and 4A is that 4A3, I'm sorry, is that there is a plume, there's an environmental issue that has been ongoing for many years. It begins to the rear of the former billiards parlor, which is the structure shown on the plan as one-story masonry building, and the plume extends from lot 3-1, then over to 3-2, and then extends out parcels C and D and lot 1. There are prospective buyers of lot of the Race Drive subdivision, and they have no interest in acquiring lot 1 or parcels C and D, in as much as the plume heads in those directions and creates a situation which the prospective buyers have no interest in participating in any kind of cleanup. The other lots are shown in blue, which is a combination of 3-3, 2-2, and 1 down in the lower right-hand corner. They will be combined. And then the last parcel of land will be a combination of 4A2, 3-1, and 2-1, and that is shown on the left-hand side, and that contains the structure. The notes explain all of this with the exception of note number 1, Jay Giroux, who is our surveyor. When we receive the Mylar back, he will add, in note 1, he will add a reference to lot 4A3, which is calculated into the total area of 82,059 square feet, but was left out of the note. So he will add that, and I think in your plan you see a little red asterisk, and that's where 4A3 will be added before any recording. As to, there was a question posed, actually Mr. Ford before the meeting had asked what happened with 4A3, and I think I've covered that. And then as to lot lines don't disappear because we have a succession of plans, and the lot lines disappear, if you will, at the time of conveyance when the lots, that which is being combined, conveyed, is described. So for instance, if there were to be a person buying lot 3.3 and 2.2 are intended to be added to lot 1 because one of the prior owners of the land had made a promise to provide a parking area of some size to the owners of the dress shop, and they were not accommodated, and the current owners and proposed owners are intending to build that parking lot, and that'll be located on lot 2.2 and 3.3 and will be added to lot 1. They have condominiumized the building that was constructed on lot 1. There are, I believe, 2 condominium units. One is the second floor, which is the bridal, the dress enterprise, and the first floor is entirely its own unit and is owned by a separate owner who will add those 3.322 to the condominium, and they will, the women that own the bridal shop will be able to get their parking area that they were promised so long ago. The reason lot 1 up on Race Drive is being taken out is I've gone over that. That's because of the plume. We'll leave the plume essentially on 3.2.1 and D and C. And that's what we're trying to accomplish in what we're doing. And the notes explain that, and I'm hopeful that the board will sign this plan.
All set, Jack?
Yep.
Any questions from the board?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, Attorney Kelty, there's a zoning line that kind of bisects your
Yes.
proposed new lot. Would you address that at all? What's coming in the future for that?
The people that have been looking at Race Drive, there was formerly a subdivision that was approved out there. That subdivision has long expired. The folks that, I'm not at liberty to say who the potential buyers are. However, they've had, I believe, I've not been involved in them. So this is upon information and belief that they have had meetings with certain department heads and I believe with the office of the mayor to discuss what it is they may have in mind out there. But the reason for this plan is they have no interest in acquiring lot 1.
Because of contamination.
Yes. On the other parcels of land, 4A1 is the subject of a storage facility. which we're still trying to get through site plan review. There was fill brought onto this property, and we've got to do test pits, and the test pits need to be, they're pretty deep, and we've finally done them, and we've got the results of those. So we're going to share that with Public Services Department and see how those test pits factor into our storm drainage system.
Just to clarify, you did receive site plan review conditional approval, so you have been through the planning board on that. It was just conditioned upon
Yes.
satisfaction of DPS comments in their memo. So
That's
just what-
correct.
If I may continue a bit further, Jack, your circle storage facility that is yet to come to be, where is the egress going to be for that?
Circle storage access and egress is entirely down on the frontage. Yes.
All right, very
That's
good.
being,
Is it where I'm showing the mouse right now, Jack?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
that
it
is-
is.
So that will still say fine, even, I doubt it, quick, kind of going off John's question here. With the new changes in the lots, you'll still have access and egress
Yes.
from that facility?
Yes,
I think the easements will move forward with change of ownership.
that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Mr. Roy, you got a question?
Yes, thank you, Tom, through the chair. So to Jack Kelty, oh boy, what happened to that? What the heck? Okay, I just lost my map, but,
Plan.
well, I had the plan, oh, here it is, it's back. I had it on a different computer. Sorry about that. So I have a couple of concerns myself. One of the concerns is that, well, let me ask this question first. Okay, you can't say who the proposed buyer is, but you did say that one of these three new lots you're trying to assemble is up for sale. By chance, can you tell us which one it is? I don't care who's buying it. I'd like to know which one you're doing most of this work for.
It's 4A1 is under agreement. Circle Storage LLC has that parcel under agreement, and that is still to build the storage facility. And lot 3-2, I believe, is under agreement with the fellow by the name of Jim Sheridan, who is Peabody North LLC. He has a PNS for 3-2, 4A3, and lot 1.
And parcel C and D.
Yes.
Okay, so a couple of concerns of mine, and I'm sure perhaps concerns of some of the other board members, is that by combining this, you're in essence delivering a commercial lot into a residential subdivision.
Well,
So,
in terms of the actual land and area, yes, but the zoning would still rule and such that lot 1 couldn't be built out as a commercial lot because it's in a residential zone.
so what can possibly be done with that lot after the contamination's cleaned up? What could possibly be put there?
The nature of this contamination is such that it's not likely to be cleaned up. It's been being worked on for some 20 years. There are monitoring wells. I believe it's, which are read continually, but it is such that it will continue to be treated and continue to be monitored, but it's not likely to actually be ever in the very near future. It's not likely to be given a clean bill of health. The lot 1, I'm not sure what will happen, but it's not as if it could be developed in conjunction with 3-2 so as to house some sort of by right commercial use. The use would only be able to extend um, to the zoning line.
Okay, so off to the next concern. Parcel C and D, is that an attempt to try to make access onto Winona Street?
No,
Okay, well, I'd like to see that brought.
no, they
mentioned.
were existing lots that were a portion of the subdivision plan. And initially, I remember those many years ago when I was doing Leno Marshall Drive, it was called then. The thought was that those parcels of land may well be given to the neighbors to the left and right. However, understanding now that there's a plume there, that won't occur.
Okay. And the drainage, the permanent drainage for this entire property has never been finished. There's supposed to be a substantial bit of work on Winona Street,
Yes,
pipes, manholes down to some brook somewhere. None of that's been done.
that is true.
That gonna be done someday by somebody?
I don't know if it'll be done in exactly that fashion, but yes, any properties that are being built out, that drainage would have to be completed. So in other words, if our storage facility drained down to lots 4A2 and 4A3, and they would, if they are intended to carry through out onto Winona, then it would all have to be built. You're correct.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I don't know how, I don't even know if he's still alive, but Mr. Mayo looks like he's getting.
Mr. Mayo Senior has passed.
Yeah, okay, well, he was an elderly gentleman, but
Yep.
You're encircling him now. So it's, again, just making comment, and that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Through the chair. Jack, just educate me a little bit, please, if you will. I wasn't around when Race Drive subdivision was approved. If that subdivision has since expired, did lot one, is lot one still a separate, a standalone lot if the subdivision requirement? I'm assuming that lot got created as part of a subdivision plan?
They are all, well, yeah, I mean, the subdivision plan is of record. The assessors has picked up that, and they have independently assessed each of the lots in the subdivision, and they are owned by Race Peabody LLC. Every lot in that subdivision is owned by Race Peabody LLC. So does that answer your question?
I just don't understand. I guess that maybe different education for a different day, but I don't understand how, if the lots are created in a subdivision plan and the subdivision is now expired, how those individual lots exist. Wouldn't it just be back to being one giant parcel?
No, because the plan is recorded. The subdivision has a life of 7 years, and then the Permit Extension Act extended it a couple of times. We've gone past all that, but the fact is that the plan being recorded on at the Registry of Deeds does in fact create the lots, but you're correct that a subsequent user coming along, if they want to do a subdivision, they would have to design their own or reapprove Race Drive, because the construction of the roadway and construction of houses on these lots could not occur at this time. I think the subsequent user is going to abandon the individual lots.
Minus this one.
Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, just quickly, Jack, so I know that lot one is not going to be built on. I think you mentioned it right at the beginning, but I think I missed it. Can you, so there's a plume on lot one and the subsequent new owners just don't want it as part of the subdivision? Or as part of as the property?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and that,
So if there were to be a conveyance, the way their parcel of land, which I think Matt's point, in a fashion, the way it becomes one lot, you would give them a deed for lots 2, 3, 4, and lots on the other side. You would describe what they're acquiring on your deed by using the subdivision plan, but that would be its only value. There would be no value to the ability to go out and build that subdivision until such time as there was a reapplication to your board.
and then, Mr. Chair, there is a member of the public, also, Jim Sheridan is also here. I was wondering, I was gonna unmute his mic for a second and see if he would like to speak. Is that okay with you through the chair?
Fine, thank you.
Does he want to?
We'll find out shortly. Hi, Mr. Sheridan. Would you like to make any comments on this?
Can you hear us?
Please, it says his mic is unmuted.
Why don't you put it- Ask him in the chat, Drew.
We don't have chat.
We don't have chat. Never mind.
I would have liked to ask Mr. Sheridan a question, but it seems he's not available to respond.
John,
He can also call in through the phone number, right? If he's having trouble with the,
Also calling through the phone number. Yeah.
I think he did call in through the phone, isn't it? He told
No.
me earlier he was going to try to go in by phone, but not with the computer.
No, he's on a computer.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Jack, can you, so 3-1, this new lot that's being created between 3-1, 2-1. Do you know if are there any plans for what's going to be in there once that lot's created, or?
I'm not aware of any at the present time. However, there has been no special permit granted for it. I do know that Jim Sheridan has told me that that building is to come down, and it's supposed to come down in the very near future. There was a time when the former owner was talking about repurposing the existing building, but I think that Jim's idea is to abandon that building completely.
do we have any idea what's gonna be built in this orange encircled lot that's gonna be conveyed to Mr. Sheridan?
Orange encircled lot.
3-2.
Yeah, 324348-3, lot 1, parcel C, parcel D, orange.
No, I'm
encircled.
not sure that Jim actually has a plan at the present time.
Okay, well, John, I don't know, John's probably gonna make the motion, and if you don't mind, and just a suggestion, can we please make the motion subject to lots, parcel C and parcel D not being made an access onto Winona Street? I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I know we had a bunch of people come to a meeting a long time ago, and that's what they were told.
That's correct.
Roy, can I ask why?
Well, yeah, because they don't want businesses using their tiny little windy street to get in and out of. I think
But
they've had enough of this property over the last 15 years.
You don't mean lot 3-2 though, right? You mean the bigger,
I mean,
picture.
the two little strips that look like they would make a perfect road.
Yep.
Parcel C and parcel D into that residential neighborhood. That we should make that part of a condition of if we approve this thing tonight. Or acknowledge it or whatever it is, A&R.
Well, if I may, for a quick second, Jack, in your conversations with Mr. Sheridan, does he have any plans to take the extra burden off lot 3-2 and to do something with the water up there? I haven't been up there for a while, but the last time I was up there, the dike walls appear to be growing and the amount of water, the volume of water in that lagoon is a lot. Should there be a breach of the dike, there will be a problem downhill. And
Yeah, his plan would be, would have to have a fully engineered stormwater drainage plan, which I believe would come before site plan review, your board, and construction review committee.
Well, I for one wouldn't mind seeing that lagoon reduced, drained down somewhat. I think it's potentially a serious problem if it goes. And we have had a history of problems up there with mud runoff and all that. Secondly, does it affect your plan if we put a little restriction on parcel C and parcel D?
I think not.
Okay.
I apologize, Jack. If parcel C and D is not access to lot 3-2, then access is through lot 1, and that will be through a potential residential neighborhood?
No, access to all the parcels is from the frontage on Winona Street. And yes, and Drew is showing us now an easement that takes you from that will allow any users up there to come in through Newbury and get all the way to the back.
Dr. Otto?
And also, you couldn't use C and D, which are over that residentially zoned line. You couldn't use that residential land to access commercial properties.
and that would also hold true for lot 1. So Roy,
That's correct.
Roy, your situation extends not only to lot C and parcel C and D, but also to lot 1, I would say.
Yeah, I'm just worried about it. I wouldn't want to, have that possibility ever happen, that they go to city council and get some special permit or a zoning change or something to allow that, because those people up there don't deserve that.
Well, as of right now, what is submitted, these property 1 and C and D are not eligible for that. So it would take an act of Congress to get it changed.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, it doesn't look like Jim is going to call in or hasn't.
Yes, Mr. Ford.
So having said that, Mr. Chairman, so we do not need a restriction on parcel C and parcel D, the former, what would be the former C and D.
They're not eligible for that purpose, so.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes, Jim.
Excuse me? Any other
They're
questions?
going to move approval right now. Okay.
No other questions? I'll accept the motion.
It's gonna be a pretty long one. Are you recording, Drew?
Peabody Access Television is recording for me, luckily.
All right, at this time, Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of an A&R plan of land in Peabody, Mass, which will go as follows. The following lots and parcels shall be combined to form one contiguous lot. Lot number 1, 1 Race Drive, formerly known as 2 Leno Marshall Drive, 22,712 plus or minus square feet. That is in book 35944, page 276. Will be combined with parcel C, 3,029 plus or minus square feet, map 57, lot 74Q. Added also to parcel D, 3,081 plus or minus square feet. And that is map 57, lot 74R. This shall be combined with lot 3-2, 82,059 plus or minus square feet, and lot 4A-3, 19,642 square feet. Further, the following lots shall be joined together to form one contiguous lot. Lot 1, also known as 130 Newbury Street, 91,487 plus or minus square feet. Further identified by PB 441, page 29, with lot 2-2, 6,454 plus or minus square feet. Further, and lot 3-3, 7,807 plus or minus square feet. Continuing on, the following lots shall be combined to form one contiguous lot. Lot 2-1, 47,454 plus or minus square feet, with lot 3-1, 23,436 square feet, and lot 4A2, 10,869 plus or minus square feet. That is my motion.
You have a
If I may-
second?
If I may
Second.
ask, Mr. Kelty, is everything all right with that?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
I
Attorney
believe-
Cooper, second.
Okay, can we have a roll call
Yeah, I'm
on this one?
gonna stop sharing my screen. Pull it up. Okay. Dr. Otto,
Yes.
Mr. Not here. Miss Attorney Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Simoes,
Oh,
Mr. Simoes, you're muted.
oh my God. Where?
There you are.
Can you unmute me? Because I don't see that thing here.
Yeah.
We hear you.
Okay. No.
Okay. Mr. Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Betancourt,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
it passes.
All righty. I will be
Thank you, members.
signing, I'll be signing the Mylar with Andrew within the next couple of days.
Fine.
Jack, right? Only one signature on this one?
Yes.
And he has to produce a new Mylar, correct?
No.
He's gonna add the note.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
add
gonna
the
add
note.
that.
Okay, very good.
Because I will, Jack, I'll just let you know, I'll bring it probably next week, Monday. I'll have Tom sign and then I can drop it off at the office for you.
Okay. If
All right.
the door is not open, just leave it there, 'cause I hope to be away.
All right.
Okay, next on the agenda is site and building permit plan review appointment for a proposed Stonegate subdivision. Attorney John Kelty, you're up again.
With respect to Stonegate, I had asked for, and the comments of the board, I had, before the last meeting, I had supplied a copy of a plan which was prepared by Chris Mello of Eastern Land Survey, and which depicted an area where we are proposing to put the water pump station. That area shows as being at the intersection of Linfield Street and Bartholomew Street. The proposed pump station is on city-owned land. I'm of the opinion that certainly the city council would have to approve this, as well as the mayor's office under the theory of disposition of land. We would we would build it. It would be provided to service the, hold on one. Jim, I'm still up. I gotta call you back. It would actually be servicing the subdivision, the Stonegate subdivision. And we feel this is the optimum location for two reasons. One, because it's at a low point where we would be then pumping up to our subdivision. And at the same time, it would be accessible by the city of Peabody, which would become the owner after we built it. And it would be integrated completely into the Peabody water system. I believe that a structure such as this requires a special permit from the city council. We would need the authority from the mayor and city council to be able to utilize the land for this purpose. And what I was hoping tonight was that I would hear from the members of the planning board, at least, their comments with respect to this location and the process moving forward. The subdivision has been reviewed by Meridian. They took a bit of a length of time. Now it's being further looked at by Will Politz. We don't have his comments yet, so I have continued the action on the subdivision until, I think that I have continued it till August 27th. And Andrew, did I give you a letter the other day that took us out into September?
Yeah, you did send a letter. That was in everybody's.
Okay. So with that, I would open looking for comments from the board as to our pump station location.
You have that map?
I don't have it. As I was going to ask if Andrew, I think it's from last week's meeting agenda.
It was. I can share it on my screen. Give me 1 second.
Yes, Mr. Ford.
For Attorney Kelty, Jack, do you have a backup site within your subdivision for a pump station?
We would probably put it in the area close to Ralph Road and Pearl Street. That would bring it a little closer to existing homes. It would make it a little more, it would make it a little less accessible to the city as we go forward, trying to maintain it. So we think that this particular location makes sense for 2 or 3 reasons. And yeah, we could if we need to. We'd put the pump station at a higher elevation, but that can be engineered.
And further along the lines of water, would the Boulderwood water tower help your subdivision? Because I believe years ago when all this stuff,
Yeah.
I believe this subdivision was part of the Big Five. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, that's true. But the link from Boulderwood down to this end of Bartholomew Street was never made. So the Boulderwood water tower doesn't really impact us to any great extent.
Is Mr. Politz of the opinion, or I know you can't speak to him for him, but I'm sure you've had conversation with him. Would they prefer a gravity feed system?
Gravity feed water?
Off the tower, yes.
I don't know. They have not commented on that. All of our filings have indicated that it is our intention to build a pump station.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Jack,
I'm sorry. I myself, I don't have a problem with the location of this proposed pump station. Like Attorney Kelty said, it's easily accessible by the city for maintenance. So
Yeah, can you Drew, can you, really the only part of that drawing that's of any consequence for us anyway is the top left quadrant?
Zoom in.
Okay, thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I agree what Jack was saying, that I'm, no water expert, but certainly if the pump station is put there, then there's a good possibility that the people on Ralph could benefit from it. And whereas if it was put up higher, they probably couldn't benefit from it. So that makes sense. The only thing I mentioned before, and I guess I can mention, is just you'd want to be careful on your sight lines there when somebody's coming out of Bartholomew Street. A lot of cars use that street, and negotiating across the lane going towards Peabody Square to try to get out to Goodwin Circle. So, but as long as looks like you're keeping it somewhat clear there, I tend to agree with the rest of with John that to me it looks okay there.
Any other questions?
I agree as well.
Okay, Jack, you have a letter that's requesting an extension of the subdivision to some date in September.
Yep. I don't have it in front of me. What did I ask? I tried to put it after.
September 10th.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, move to accept the letter from Attorney Kelty dated August 18th, 2020.
We got
Have
it.
a
Also,
second? Dr. Judy Otto, second.
and also, Mr. Chairman, move to allow the continuance regarding the Stonegate definitive subdivision plan to September 10th, 2020.
Second on that.
Second.
20 seconds.
Are you meeting the 3rd?
I believe so.
Yes, yes, we are.
Right, so that's a week after that meeting, and if it turns out that we're still not with the review in our hands, then it could be, I would grant you an extension beyond the 10th.
Okay, you all set on those two motions?
Do we get a vote? Do we get a vote on the extension of time?
Yes, that's what I just said. On the two motions, one to accept the letter and one to extend, we have a raise of hands, please. All those in favor?
So I'm gonna just tell you, I can't actually see. My Zoom went down on my screen for some reason right now, so I'm experiencing.
I have it unanimous.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then, so we got the, all right, perfect. So that's been continued to September 10th. Sorry, just hit technical difficulties there. Stopping sharing my screen.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask where we are in the review process with DPS at this point?
With Stonegate,
Yes.
do you want me to address that?
If you don't mind.
The Meridian was asked to take a look at plans some 7 or 8 weeks ago. I think due to maybe some internal vacationing plans, they were asking us for a second set of documents. We gave them that, and then on or about August 4th, they completed their review and supplied that to Public Services. I think then again, there were people out at Public Services for either vacation. I know that there was a health issue that has taken Will into the field a little more than even he used to be. And as such, there's been a delay at Public Services, but notwithstanding that fact, that's kind of a fact of life. So we're awaiting that review, which we hope will bring us to to the end of the process, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Next order of business is correspondence.
We
Seeing
didn't,
none?
so I can just say we didn't receive any. I mistakenly thought, even though we mentioned it at the last meeting, that the ZBA would be taking the application for the 40 comprehensive permit that was filed. I still, when I wrote this agenda, thought it was after again. So I can put it on the agenda for discussion for the next meeting, now that it has been accepted by the Zoning Board of Appeals and they've had their first meeting on it. I know they'll start to be looking for or putting in place departments' comments and recommendations on the application. So at the next meeting we can discuss, and I'll have that on the agenda. And we can, if the board would like, provide a recommendation or letter to the zoning board.
Thank you.
Are we talking about King Street residences? Is that the one?
Sorry, no, it's the 40 Oak.
40 Oak.
Oh, didn't we send them a letter suggesting they scale back the size of that?
I thought so. And I thought we gave a positive review of the one on Farm Ave. And those are the two that got discussed on the meeting on the 17th. I agree with you, John. I thought the one on Oak Street was a little too dense, and we gave a positive affirmation for the 114 units on Farm Ave across from the DPS.
Right. So I think we have communicated something on those two back to the ZBA.
Yeah. In my thoughts, it was the one that was going to be before us was, I think they call it the King's Residence or something.
You are totally right. I was 15 King Street. You are right there.
Okay.
48 before the board. 15 King Street is the one that was sent in. My apologies.
Thank you.
Okay, other matters before the board.
I could just state that if you remember correctly, 157 Newberry Street came before the board a few months ago, and they asked for a continuance as there was the questions about they'd yet to do any stormwater review, and the Department of Public Service had not looked at it, and that they were waiting for our zoning board of approvals first. They had asked to come back on the September agenda, but I just heard from their applicant, and they had asked to put their matter off. And they emailed me to ask to go to the November agenda until to come back.
And that's on the northbound side of Route 1, the foundation that's capped. That's
Yeah.
the one there. Okay.
It was
Mr. Chairman,
when it got, I'm sorry, when it got approved, that was what they call the microtel
Right.
project. Right.
Right. If I may, Mr. Chairman, while we're on other matters, and we kind of kicked this around a little bit earlier, and it's the possibility of maybe getting back to in-person live meetings somehow. If anybody has any thoughts or concerns, or they want to do it, or I for one would like to get back to a real meeting.
I would too, except for the fact that we meet in a very small space. So if we
Well,
could meet somewhere
my-
else.
Yeah, my suggestion would be to just go up to the auditorium.
We don't
I
have
can
the
inquire.
Thursday.
Yeah, I can inquire about potential other spaces too, besides just the auditorium with the city. I think it's also, I know that some other boards have done it, but I think we'd have to kind of logistically look at this and how it would work, because I think in theory it makes a lot of, saying let's go back to in person, but I think in practice it could prove a little difficult. What if 30 abutters show up to something, and what are we have to make sure we follow all the guidelines from the state on people in the room at the same time, and how that would work out. So I think I could start putting logistics together on how it would work. Things kind of change daily, but I can report back at next meeting on, a possible what it could look like.
Dr. Otter, you had your hand up?
Thank you. I would not feel comfortable meeting in person unless we could be 6 feet distant, and I know that poses some problems when we are looking at plans together and pointing at things on plans.
And again, we need space. I would, obviously, we gotta wear a mask. But I suggested the auditorium, there's plenty of room there, but Drew is considering the Higgins, I believe. So I don't know
Yeah.
how much room is there. I've never been inside, but I know how much room is in the Wiggins Auditorium.
I saw the school committee met at the Higgins, I believe, the other night, and it looked like they had the table set up. Everybody was far apart, and everybody actually had like their own little table. And PAT, much like the Wiggins, has cameras set up in there. And I mean, I just like right off the top of the head, what I think it would look like. I think you would still have to tell applicants that it would be in the public, that it would be virtual, and I think you could have the members in public, and I could see if we could get like some sort of like smart board, or just so that we can see what's getting presented. But again, I can look into it and see how it can work.
Well, I for one would like to have the applicants there in person. That's the,
Yeah, I think, but logistically, I think that causes a lot of problems. I think that just
well,
and
for
what
the
about the
most-
public?
well, for the most part, how many presenters do we have in an evening? 1, 2, 3 at the outside?
But I think you then get into, a lot of the times they're not presenters, but there's someone with the project that's showing up. And then is it, sorry, you're not allowed, but you're technically part of the LLC that, is the applicant. So I think that could raise some questions that would be difficult.
If you would allow me, my personal preference is not to get in any closed space unless the ventilation system is proven to take out at least 0.5 microns out of the air. And if you've got a system that's capsulated, enclosed, that actually spreads the virus much further and better than if you had just open windows. So systems like we did in our building, we reverse them and take the air from outside, bring it into the facility, and then we exhaust the air outside. We don't use any recirculated air. And I can't believe that Wigan Auditorium has doesn't use circulated air.
Again, I can look into it kind of just see how it could work, and I can reach out to the school committee, and I think that city council has making plans as well, and see how they're going to do it.
Okay, nice conversation. Do we have a motion for any,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, move to adjourn.
Second,
all those in favor?
aye.
Have a good evening.
Unanimous.
Thanks, you too.
Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ciao for now.